Okay. So COD and COE. Can you read this once again?
Yes.
The direct object pronouns.
COD, complement the object direct or direct object pronouns replace nouns.
Hmm.
A person, place, or an object. When there is no preposition after the verb, they are used with the verbs such as aimer, voir, connaître, appeler, entendre, écouter, vouloir, etc.
Correct. So basically, a direct object pronoun is what do you mean by the word direct? See, there are two things, right? Under the pronouns we have learned, we have COD, that's complément d'objet direct and complément d'objet indirect. All right. The only difference is, first of all, where do you use this? Like, you know, the structure of a sentence is subject plus verb plus object, right? So
Yes.
immediately after a verb, when you have an object, okay, without any preposition in between, understand? So
Okay.
that is when we use a DOP, that is a direct object pronoun, to replace the noun or the object, understand?
Okay.
So this is usually used to avoid repetition of some object or some place or something, okay, and to bring some variation in your speech. So the only difference is the difference between say o they and say o e is that in the direct object pronoun, you will have a noun directly after the verb. You won't have any preposition in between. Whereas for say o e, that is indirect object pronoun, you will have a preposition in between. Understand?
Okay.
Now,
Maybe can
by
you give me an example?
yeah. So by preposition, I mean that there will be prepositions like a, gra. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be sharing some examples with you. Just read the list of say o de for now.
Ma, I'm apostrophe, the apostrophe, lo, la apostrophe, la apostrophe, nu, vu, le.
So the list is, we repeat, ma, ta, la, la, nu, vu, le. All right. Now, it answers the question what or whom. Okay, we will be seeing a lot of examples so that your concept will be clear. But we generally ask the question what or whom. I will show you what exactly I mean by this. Okay, we will come to the positions part a bit later. No, we will start with the positions as well. In the present tense, we place both the pronouns. Now see, these positions remain the same for say o they, say o e, pronoun o and pronoun e. All
Mm-hmm.
right. So in English, it is DOP, that's direct object pronoun, indirect object pronoun, pronoun y and en. Understand?
Okay.
So the positions of all these four pronouns will remain the same. Now, just a minute. Okay, so in a present tense, see, in all the tenses, it will always be placed before a verb. All right. So in a present tense, we place it before the conjugated verb. J'appelle, For example, j'appelle mes parents. I am calling my parents. Now, if you see, the structure is subject, verb, and object, right? So this particular object, when you want to talk about something, to eliminate repetition of this word, they replace it with a DOP or a IOP. All right. So now, what do I mean by this question? Answers question what or whom. Okay. I am calling home my parents, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
So I'm calling home. So the noun answers the question home, and you replace it as per the number and gender of the noun. So now parents is plural, and ills form. So either ways, whether it is ills or else, the replacement will be lay, and it is placed before the conjugated verb in the present tense, right? So I'm calling my parents, I'm calling them. So in
Okay.
literal sense, it will be I, them, call. Understand?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now coming to future prosh. In a future prosh, now there are two verbs, right? In this, you know the structure of future prosh tense, right? That's
Yes.
subject plus aller plus infinitive, right? So in
Yeah.
this case, when there are two verbs, we always look at the infinitive, all right? So the pronoun in this case will be placed before the infinitive. Actually, in any case, whether it is future proche, whether it is passé récent, passé récent, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I
Subject
do.
plus venir plus the plus infinitive,
Yes, I do.
right? So even there is an infinitive. And in French, एक basic concept होता है जहाँ पे second verb French का कभी conjugate नहीं होता, even if it is not
Yes.
these tenses. When I have to use
Yeah,
two
yeah.
verbs, okay, two or more verbs, I will not conjugate the second one. So in that case also, in all the cases, wherever there is an infinitive, it will always be placed right before the infinitive. So for example, je vais faire cet exercice. I'm going to do this exercise, or I will do this exercise. I will do what? This exercise, correct? So I'm going to do it. So
Okay.
this exercise is answering the question what? Got it?
Yeah.
Coming to passive composite. So in a passive composite, now we have the helping verb and the past participle, right? So in a passive composite, we place it before the helping verb or the auxiliary verb, right? Which are the helping verbs in French?
Être, avoir.
Être and avoir, right? So we place it before
Mhm.
être and avoir. Even if it is negative, even if it is irrespective of the form it is, all right? Affirmative, negative, interrogative, whatever form it is, it will always be placed before the auxiliary verb. For
Okay.
example, Mark a commandé la pizza. Mark ordered the pizza. Okay. Now the pizza is to be replaced. Mark ordered it. You saw
Okay.
it's placed before avoir. Now, one
Mhm.
small rule I want you to make note of is
Mhm.
in a passé composé, when there is a DOP, direct object pronoun, only DOP, no other pronoun, all right?
Yeah.
Only this rule is applicable only with DOP. Okay. When there is a DOP, the past participle will agree in number and gender. Now, what do I mean by that? La pizza feminine था और हमने उसको replace किया with L apostrophe. तो कॉमन में agreement हुआ. Did you notice?
Yeah.
इवन दो अवर ऑक्सिलरी यूज होता है, यूजुअली पैसिव कंपोजिट में हमने क्या सीखा है? अग्रीमेंट किसके साथ होगा? सिर्फ एत्र वर्ब के साथ होगा, राइट?
Right.
अवर के साथ कभी नहीं होता और रिफ्लेक्सिव में होता है, पर उसमें भी दे आर यूजिंग एथरो ऑक्सिलरी.
Yeah.
Understand? But
Got
the
it.
rule in this is DOP precedes, means DOP when is coming before the helping verb. That time, even with avoir auxiliary, the past participle will agree in number and gender.
Okay.
Understand?
Yes.
Okay. So Mark ordered a pizza, Mark ordered it. And then there's an agreement. All right. Enough in future sampler. Now, future sampler, there's just one verb, just like we did for present tense. Just we did for present tense. We will conjugate this and we will place it before the verb. Understand?
Mhm.
So wherever there are just one verbs used, like conditional हो गया, future sampler हो गया, imperfect हो गया, right? So all these tenses, wherever we are not using two verbs, in that case, it will always be coming before the conjugated verb. But in case we are using two verbs, where there is an infinitive, so it will be placed before the infinitive.
Okay.
Understand? And in a passive composite before the helping verb. All right. So in future sampler, for example, cette année je ferai mon master. This year I will do my masters. Now there's just one verb here, and I will do what? You ask question what? I will be doing what? My masters, right? So this year I will be doing it. Got it? Now coming to passé récent, just like I explained you, it will be before placed before the infinitive. Okay. Je viens de passer le DELF A2. I just appeared for DELF A2. Je viens de le passer.
Okay.
Je viens de le passer means I just appeared for it. Got it? Now in this, if you notice the and ल का usually हम सिखाते हैं the plus ल due होता है. But when it is a pronoun, pronoun के साथ आप कभी contraction नहीं करेंगे. Only when it is an article.
Okay.
You know, lo, la, le is when it means the. When you refer to any item in any quantitative item,
Okay.
right? जब भी वो as a article use हुआ है, the and ल contract होगा. पर जब वो pronoun की तरह
Okay.
use हुआ है, तो वहाँ पे contraction नहीं होगा.
Okay.
Got it?
Got it.
I've not added conditional and yeah, and parfait and all of that. But yeah, this is how the placement goes. Got it? One second. I had added this also. The um, imperative. Okay, I'll type a few examples over here. Yeah, I'm just adding some note here. In imperative affirmative, imperative affirmative is the only form, okay, where we place DOP, IOP, YEN after the verb with a hyphen. All right.
Got it. Okay.
Can you repeat the rule?
In imperative, in affirmative, uh, we will place it after the
Only
DO.
affirmative. Okay. So, for
Okay.
example, face says exercise. Okay. Do these exercise. You know what is imperative, right?
Yes.
Okay. So it doesn't have a subject pronoun. directly starts with a verb. Okay. Face et exercise. Do these exercises. इसका imperative क्या होगा? इसका DOP. Do what? Do the exercises. Correct. Now this, the answer to this will be fail. Do them. Do
Then,
what? Do them.
okay,
Got it?
got it.
The same sentence, if I had to frame it in a negative form, I say ne fait, ne fait pas ces exercices, right? Right? Do not do these exercises. The answer will be
Hmm.
ne les fait pas. Do not do them.
How come position change here of lay
That's what
came
I just
before?
told. Yeah, I just told you, no, imperative affirmative is the only form जहाँ पे वो पीछे आएगा. Negative imperative में वो आगे आता है.
Okay,
Understood?
got it.
So
Got it.
all the tenses, everything, it will be coming before imperative affirmative. That is why I am emphasizing so much on the word affirmative. और imperative में सिर्फ दो ही फॉर्म्स होते हैं, affirmative और negative. Got it? यूजुअली हम लोग
Yes.
सीखते हैं कि कोई भी टेंसेस में या कोई भी कॉन्जुगेशंस में देर आर फोर फॉर्म्स, राइट? दैट्स अफर्मेटिव, नेगेटिव, इंटरोगेटिव भी होता है एंड नेगेटिव इंटरोगेटिव भी होता है, राइट?
Okay. Mhm.
आर यू अवेयर ऑफ दिस और नो?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so it's like I'm doing this exercise, I'm not doing this exercise. Are you doing this exercise? Aren't we doing this exercise? Got it?
Got it.
So it is that. Now the reason why imperative में सिर्फ I am do this or don't do this, right? Because imperative is order, commanding and requesting. Correct? So इसमें subject pronoun आता ही नहीं है. तो usually हम लोग interrogative कैसे करते हैं? हम invert करते हैं, right? With the subject pronoun.
Yeah.
For example, if I had to say, tu parles, tu parles français, français, the accent will come. Tu parles français, इसका इंटरोगेटिव करना है तो मैं कैसे करूंगी? सिर्फ इन्वर्जन करना है, राइट? Parles-tu français? Got it?
Got
You speak French? Do you speak French? So I will just invert it with the subject pronoun, right? But if you see imperative में subject pronouns होते ही नहीं है, तो इसमें inversion हम कर ही नहीं सकते. Understanding? So that is the reason
Mhm.
imperative has only two forms, that is affirmative and negative. And affirmative is the only form where it will be placed exactly where the noun is. Like do these exercises, do them. Got it?
Got it.
Understood the rule? This is very important,
Yes.
huh?
Yeah, I understood.
Okay. And did you notice that we did not have, right, like after the conjugation or after the verb, we had direct objects. There was no preposition in between. जब preposition आता है ना बीच में तो वो indirect object बोलते हैं. Understanding? So it replace a direct object pronoun replaces a direct object noun. Understanding? मतलब कोई
Yes.
भी word noun से immediate बाद में आता है without a preposition, we will use this. Got it? If you see the examples also, there are no, you will never find a preposition after this.
Okay.
Got it?
Got it.
Now coming to indirect object pronouns. Can you read this text?
The indirect object complement French, the complement, the object indirect is an element of the verbal group introduced by a preposition, which makes it possible to specify the object of an action performed. The COI thus makes it possible to complete a verb preceded by a preposition. It is the complement of hope. It represents the being or the thing that indirectly receives the action that the subject does.
Did you understand the text a little bit?
Uh,
So indirect
yes.
object pronoun basically replaces a noun which is introduced with a preposition. And this preposition is specific. सारे हमने you remember I shared a long prepositions list with you. A côté de, en face de, grâce à, बहुत सारे prepositions थे उसमें. Have I shared that list with you?
Not with me. Might have
No?
shared with someone else. Yeah.
Okay, I will share that with you after the lecture. But in this indirect object pronouns, we are only concerned with the preposition a, which means to,
Okay.
at, in, right?
Okay.
I'll show you where exactly this is to be used. So, um, yeah, you see, Leo parle à son ami. Leo is talking to her friend. You see, after talking, there was a verb, there was a preposition a. Understand? So, indirect object pronoun will answer the question to whom. Leo is
Okay.
speaking to whom? To her friend. Okay.
Okay. Mhm.
I'm talking to you right now. I'm talking to whom? You. Right?
Right.
So, if I had to suppose mention je parle, I am talking to say Manoj. Je parle à Manoj. Right? Je parle à qui? To whom? Am I talking to whom? To you, to Manoj, right? So I will be replacing it with a indirect object pronoun. The list of indirect object pronoun, can you just read?
Yeah. COI, ma, I'm apostrophe, ta, ta apostrophe, lui, lui, nu, vu, ler, ler.
So in this, can you see instead of la and la, see in direct object pronoun आपको वो gender भी याद करने की जरूरत है. But in indirect, it is the same for masculine and feminine both. So if I say, and even for plural forms, they are the same, right? So in this case, when I say I'm talking to Manoj, okay, je parle à Manoj. Je parle à Manoj. Should I add it? Should I add the text?
No need. I got it. I'm getting it.
Okay. Je parle à Manoj. À Manoj will be replaced by je parle à, je Louis parle. I'm talking to him. So the word to is introduced and the to will always be there. Okay. Sorry, there
Okay.
are.
So,
Hmm.
je parle à lui.
No, je Louis parle.
Okay.
You
Je
replace the
lui parle.
entire, you replace the entire thing. A plus the noun, the entire thing gets replaced. तो ये निकल जाएगा, ये आपके आंसर में नहीं आएगा. So Leo is talking to his friend. तो उसका आंसर will be Leo Pal. One second, I'll just add that text here. One second. So it will be Leo, Leo, Louis Pal. Full stop. Leo is talking to him. It's understood. To him or to her. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Similarly, Maria montre à ses élèves. Maria is showing to the students some photos or something. So this, can you try answering this?
Yeah. Maria leur montre. Montre.
Très bien. Maria leur montre. Okay. Now, you know there are two verbs. One is monter and one is montrer. You know the difference between the two, right? सी दो verbs होते हैं montrer. ये यहाँ पे आया है इसलिए I'm just showing you montrer and दूसरा verb होता है monter. Okay. Montrer is to show something to somebody and monter is to climb.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Understood. इसका प्लेसमेंट सेम जो हमने डीओपी के लिए देखा, इट विल बी द सेम.
Okay.
गॉट इट. सो इफ आई
Got
से,
it.
एंड ये एघराव जो है ना, ये नॉट नेसेसरी ऑलवेज एघराव ही हो. इट कैन बी ए यू, इट कैन बी आला, एघराव एल एपोस्ट्रोफी, एघराव या आला एंड एघराव एल एपोस्ट्रोफी and aux also. Okay, for example, je, अभी पाल 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 बहुत यूज हो गया. I'll use another verb for you. um yeah, je donne, je donne les fleurs, je donne les fleurs aux enfants. Okay, I'm giving the flowers to the children. Okay, I'm giving the flowers to whom? To the children. Correct. Hello.
Yeah, sorry, I was on mute.
Okay, so I am giving the flowers to whom? To the kids. Can you try replacing it with an IOP?
Okay. Je leur donne les fleurs.
Très bien. Je leur donne les fleurs. Okay. So this can be O, ala, any form of, any contraction form of A. Got it?
Okay.
So instead of this as or nami की जगह पे suppose O professor होता. Leo parle au professeur de français. Leo is talking to her French professor. To his French professor, sorry. Leo, if the sentence would have been Leo parle au prof de français. Okay, try replacing this.
Parle.
Leo Louis parle, no?
Yeah. Therefore, Leo, Louis, Paul.
It's done.
But so I'm thinking the Francais, like, okay, anyway, it's all together. Prof do Francais is one subject.
Yeah, it's talking to French
Okay.
professor.
One object. Yeah.
It's
Okay.
one object, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Got it?
Got it.
Now, yeah, the placement remains the same. It's just that the word to is introduced. Okay.
Okay.
Je donne, je parle. Yeah, I don't think I have anything else to add to this because placement सबका same ही है.
Okay.
It's just, you just have to keep in mind. Yeah, one thing you have to keep in mind. DOP answers the question whom. Okay, not to whom. Understanding?
Okay.
I'm calling whom? I'm calling my parents. We never say I'm calling to whom, right?
Okay. Okay.
I'm calling Manoj. So I'm calling him. I'm calling whom होगा कि I'm calling to whom? I'm calling whom? Understand? J'explique. Le sujet de grammaire. Okay, never mind. Uh, yeah, I don't think anything else has to be added. Did you understand The difference between complément d'objet direct and complément d'objet indirect.
Oui.
C'est clair maintenant?
C'est clair.
Ok. Tu peux faire deux phrases en utilisant complément d'objet direct et deux phrases avec complément d'objet indirect, juste à l'oral. And one more thing, with complement d'objet indirect, indirect object pronoun, the agreement and all that, the rule that I just showed you, know, for passé composé, that even if it is avoir, it will agree. That rule doesn't apply with indirect object pronouns. All right. So agreement का and all वो सब फंडा नहीं है इसमें. खाली placement
Okay.
सबका same है.
Okay.
Just remember that.
Okay.
Okay. And what question will say or they answer?
Who or what?
Whom and what. No preposition in between. All right.
Okay.
And for this IOP, it answers the
I
question to whom, right?
question to whom?
तो to whom हुआ तो it is always एग्रा plus a person. उसमें और कुछ possibility है ही नहीं. Got
Okay.
it? So for uh, direct object pronoun, you can have objects, you can have multiple things, you can have people also, right? Like in this one example, there was some object, and one place there was, sorry, 1 minute. At one place there was people also. तो यहाँ पे people and objects सब possible है, but IOP में सिर्फ एग्रा plus people होता है with the preposition a. Got it? Did you understand this?
Yes. I mean.
Okay, we will stop here. We will stop here, and you will rejoin the meeting. I'll share the same link that we started. No.
Sure.
Yeah. Thank you.